Hello, kids. It's good to be able to talk to you again. Even though you're there and I'm here, it won't be long. I hope you're being good to your siblings and obedient to your parents and spending time with God. So, we are back again talking about things from the Bible, and I'm hoping that you will listen carefully and connect with what we're talking about. I usually have some kind of an object lesson at our Kids Quest Children's Ministries, and sometimes even in church when we do a children's message. But I don't know, you guys know what this is, right? It's an iron, right? And I just wonder if you could, and maybe you're watching with your parents, maybe your parents can talk with you about why there are good ways to use an iron and bad ways. For instance, if I looked at myself and I thought, boy, my shirt is really wrinkly, I think I'll plug this in. And by the way, it isn't plugged in right now, okay? I think I'll plug this in and let it get nice and hot, and we'll put some water in here so there's some steam, and I'll get some of those wrinkles out of my shirt, right? Now, be honest, some of you mom and dads have tried that before, right? It doesn't end well when you touch something that's really hot. In fact, this is very personal to me. No, I didn't iron my clothes while they were on, but I don't know if the camera will pick this up. I have a big blister that was on here. A couple of weeks ago, I was out working in the yard, and I put my hand down on my rototiller after it had been running, and I burned myself very, very badly, and I got a big blister. So the question is this: why does it hurt? Did you know that the way God designed us, each one of our hands has 17,000 nerve endings? Now, you understand nerve endings, right? You have well, it's kind of like a phone line that goes to your brain. And those nerve endings talk to your brain. They tell you a lot of things. They can sense temperature. Like if I had a hot mug of coffee and I put my hands on it, I could feel that. Or, yeah, if I touched a hot iron with my hands, nerves can sense temperature. They can sense pain in a lot of ways, whether that's pain from hot temperature or something too cold, or I've got my pocket knife here. If I got poked with that, my nerves would tell my brain, hey, something's wrong here. This hurts. In fact, did you know that the way God made those 17,000 nerve endings in each hand, they do different things. And when they're working together, they can actually feel shapes. They can feel pressure and how tight I'm squeezing, or if I got my hand stepped on. But my hands have talked to my brain so much that when I'm reaching out to grab my coffee cup, even before I get there, my fingers are ready to wrap around it. What an incredible way God made us. You know it when you touch something hot. Ow! So the thought is this: don't you think life would be a whole lot better without nerve endings? Because then we'd never have that ouch feeling, right? Wouldn't we be a lot better off if God had put maybe 2,000 or maybe 0 nerve endings there? Nope, not a chance. Do you know pain protects us from getting something hurt even worse than that first pain? So here's where I'm going with this, and we're going to go to a Bible story soon. Have you ever been caught doing something bad? Maybe something really bad. How do you feel when that happens? We feel ashamed of ourselves. We feel guilty. There's just well, my word is yucky. When we've done something wrong, and maybe even before anybody catches us or tells us about it, we just feel sick on the inside. Do you know that feelings of guilt or feelings of shame work just like those 17,000 nerve endings you have in each of your hands? I'm going to read a story from the Bible, and we're going to talk about this. Jesus was going through a town called Jericho, and I'll read this. You listen carefully while I read, okay? This is talking about Jesus. He entered Jericho and was passing through, and there was a man called by the name of Zaccheus. He was a chief tax collector, and he was rich. Zaccheus was trying to see who Jesus was and was unable because of the crowd, for he was small in stature. That means that he was really a short man. So he ran on ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree in order to see him, for he was about to pass that way. When Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, "Zaccheus, hurry and come down, for today I must stay at your house." How did Jesus know his name? And for that matter, how did Jesus know where he lived or what his plans were for that day? It's because Jesus knows everything, right? Come down. I'm going to stay at your house today. And Zacchaeus hurried and came down and received him gladly. Well, the people saw what had happened, and Zacchaeus was not a very nice man. He had hurt a lot of people. He had actually stolen from them in some ways because of the job he had. And when they saw it, they all began to grumble, the Bible says, saying, "He," that is Jesus, "he has gone to be the guest of a man who is a sinner." Well, Zacchaeus stopped and said to the Lord, "Behold, Lord, half of my possessions I will give to the poor. And if I've defrauded," that means stolen, "if I've defrauded anyone of anything, I will give back 4 times as much." And listen to what Jesus said. Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because he too is a son of Abraham." Not because he was related to Abraham, but because he trusted God like Abraham trusted God. Jesus said, "He too is a son of Abraham, for the Son of Man has come to seek and to save what was lost." So what do we know about this guy Zacchaeus? He was a rich guy. He was not very tall. He was curious about Jesus. And Jesus went looking for him. Zacchaeus was interested because of the parade, and he'd heard about Jesus, but he was off in a tree. Jesus knew where he was. And when Jesus found him out, he kind of felt yucky because Jesus never sinned. He did everything right. He gave us his law, and Zacchaeus felt judged. He felt ashamed, and so he was determined to get away from his old life. So we'll go back to talking about you. Does it kind of hurt when you find out you've been bad, kind of like it hurts when you touch something really, really hot? Does it make you feel yucky and ashamed? You know that's good. To never feel any sense of guilt would mean that I can never get away from it. I can never go to where I'll be forgiven. Zacchaeus had that sting of shame, and you know what he did? Well, let's just talk about that hot iron again. What do you do if you feel that pain? You get away from it. That's what Zacchaeus did. He saw his old life and he saw, this is going to take me to judgment. I feel yucky. But he got away from it. But Zacchaeus didn't just run from his sin. Zacchaeus ran to Jesus. That's what you and I need to do.
And he said, "Zacchaeus, you come down, for I'm going